Welcome to our first DBIF for 2021. It's wonderful to see you all, and so exciting to have people from so many different places. Okay, so it's my honor to introduce Venerable Ju Huang from the temple in St. Louis, who will be giving us the TBIF today. The title of the talk is Middle Path, an Alternative Way in Juggling Balls in Life. So, Venerable, thank you so much. And whenever you're ready.
Hello, everyone. Good morning. Oh, no, good evening. Okay. So, for those who are in the morning, I'm at the right time zone, right? Okay. So, okay. So right now, everyone is from different time zone, different places, and I'm very honored to be here to share with you some of the Buddhist wisdoms and some of the stories that I feel inspiring. Okay, and so thank you very much for taking some time to come over. Right? I know that there's you need to just a few clicks to come over, but even though we are not physically together, but thank you for everyone to come. And now there are 60 people. Wow. Okay. Because Venerable Miao Zhang said, oh, there are usually 30. Okay. And I'm feeling safe. Like, it's not facing toward a lot of crowd, but now it is 60. Wow. Okay. Thank you. And before I start, I would like to announce that my internet sometimes is quite not stable recently. So if you happen to see that I was talking and then disappearing, then don't worry, because I will be coming back just like a genie, then start all over again. Okay, so just hint me that where I was, and then I will begin again. Okay, so let me open up my PowerPoint. Okay, there you go. Okay, so today we're going to talk about middle path or middle way. And my subtitle is An Alternative Way in Juggling Balls in Life. We know life seems pretty busy, and it may be, or it will be busier in the recent time, right? Okay, but after 1 year, I'm not sure how many people are able to handle all of the balls right now. So I hope that after my talk and all of the stories and the wisdoms, then we are able to catch more balls in the sky. Okay, so, oops. Okay, there you go. Okay, so this is a painting that I found in the internet. It was being made by a Tulsan artist called Tracy Harris. Okay, and this painting, the name of the painting is quite interesting. It's called Midwestern Mermaid. Okay, so it's quite exactly where I am right now. I'm in the Midwest, and and you can see that there are a lot of arms, and what is she doing, right? Okay, juggling the balls. Okay, and I would like every one of you to kind of like type in on chat on how do you feel, or what do you feel when seeing this painting? Like, this is a modern one, right? Okay, and this painting was described as a woman wrapped in a sheet, and of the back of a multi-armed bodhisattva trying to meditate and juggle red balls at the same time. Okay, so I would like everyone, or most of you, to write in the chat what do you feel when seeing this painting. And I'm not sure I can see it here or anywhere, okay, because what I can see is my PowerPoint. Okay, so maybe later. Okay, so, oh, there you go. Okay, the chats. Okay, there you go. Multitasking. Okay, creeped out. Okay, it looks very difficult. Stressed, overwhelmed, busy, chaotic, multitasking. She dropped some, or she dropped one. Okay, overwhelming daily life, one in. I tell my grandma all the time that in my next life I should be an octopus, so I can juggle multiple things at once, right? Okay. Somebody upside down. Oh, you can see somebody upside down. Okay. It reminds me of when I did my MA degrees. Okay. Master degrees. Okay. So did I. Okay. Exact description of my current life, except it is way calmer and prettier. Okay. Just like me, my hard to juggle while meditating, lose concentration. Okay. Avalokiteshvara Guanyin statue with 1,000 hands. So there is only 6 hands. So, meh. Okay. Guanyin might be even stronger. She has multiple arms, right? 1,000 arms. Okay. Calm, but very intense. Too busy to take care so many, like catching most tasks at you. Okay. Yes, you might be a good catcher or not. Okay. Just like me. Okay, yeah, I don't know what happened to you, but yeah, okay, like that. So you might be Guan Yin, okay, handling pressure with grace. Okay, that is a very interesting answer. That's good. Okay, creative ideas from Elaine to everyone. Okay, too many things to do, distractions, doing many things poorly instead of focusing on one thing. Okay, okay. Mom. Okay, she's mom. Yeah. Okay, so this is how we feel when seeing people doing multitasking, juggling balls, or seeing ourselves doing things, right? You might feel that you're doing it without any hardship, or you're kind of like, okay, this is I'm just catching it, right? Okay, and what am I going to do next? Okay, so that is something that is interesting. Everyone are in a different status when seeing these and having any feelings. Okay, so we know it might be stressful. Yeah, okay, and doing a lot of things, right? There are tons of works coming in right in front of our eyes, and we have only 24 hours, right? Only 2 hands. We want more hands or more eyes, even more mouth to talk, right? Okay, or many phones, right? Okay, so that is what we are now. So is there any way that we can get through these, or any help that we can handle these better? Okay, so this is what we're looking for, right? And the Buddha, okay, the Buddha said, maybe middle path. Okay, there is someone left his or her message on chat saying that it's really chaotic, right? Okay, so what is the middle path for juggling balls? So let us take a look. Okay, so I would like to say that middle path is one of the most important teachings of the Buddha. And if we know these, then we are inspired to manage things. Okay, so let us take a look at it. So what is the middle path? Then we are going to talk about its origins. So middle path actually, when the teachings is really a very, 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 very early teachings. Okay, so we know that the Buddha before his enlightenment, he has gone through an ascetic life. So in the picture or the painting at your left, you can see the Buddha was a skinny Buddha, and there is five, right? Five disciples or five followers, practicing asceticism along with him. Yes, that is what he did before he's enlightened. Right? This was the story of the Buddha. Right? But there are when we talk about the time between the enlightenment of the Buddha and the asceticism of the Buddha, there's something we might take in mind. Okay, sometimes we will be just jumping that kind of like having a conclusion that after aesthetic practice, Buddha got enlightened. But I think there is something missing. So let us take a look what's inside between these two. Okay, so actually the middle path is the prince's choice. We know that the Buddha was a prince before. Also, he got everything, right? Okay. You can think of, women's luxuries, food, servants, okay. And he got even 4 palace being built by his father, right? And for he to live in season by season. Okay, different seasons, you go to different places, right? I think that some of you might have a luxury life, or maybe it's a kind of like normal life right now. Okay? So you got 2 houses. One is your daily house, and the other one is for your vacation. Okay, so this is what the prince was before, but he was kind of like saying no to this life. Okay, so no. So he gone forth for practice. Okay, it's for the practice, and he abandoned his lay life and become an ascetic. But before he became an ascetic, of course, he learned from different teachers, but he never satisfied. So the last steps is, or the last spot is asceticism. And what he did, or what is his choice is, he also said, oops, what happened? Okay, all right. Well, he said no. He said no to asceticism. Okay, remember that he was, after he practiced, he was very weak, and he said it might not be a ideal things for me. Then he walked up from his seat. Right? He left the forest. Then he went to he crossed the river, take a bath, then sat down to another places and started to meditate, right? And that is the time after 49 days. At this time, then he got enlightened. Okay, so actually he says no twice. Okay, he said no twice toward a luxury life, and also a practice that is kind of a harsh, kind of like physical constraints, and he says no to. Okay. And so what he was choosing, the Buddha was choosing, is something that is not to his ordinary or his priest life, nor the ascetic, or the intense, very intense, constrained, physically constrained life. Okay, so that is called, and as the Buddha said, this is called the middle path. Okay, so the very well-known story of the middle path, I think that everyone knows already because you have seen maybe the story of the Buddha, or you have learned about teachings. Then so these stories happened between Buddha and one of the Buddha's disciple called Sona. Okay, so Sona was a guitar player, but it is not an ordinary guitar. It is an Indian instrument called Veena, Veena, okay, Veena. Okay, so this is the Veena in its modern time. Okay, so you can see that this was exactly what Sona played before he renounced. Right? And so he was a player. Sona was a player before. Okay. And after he renounced, he really wanted to, kind of like get enlightened as soon as possible. ASAP. I want, complete liberation as everyone do, right? Okay, or everyone does. So he tried very hard, but it seems, useless, and he was very helpless. So the Buddha came up to him and started to talk. Right? And after, the Buddha knows that Sona is a musician, and so he started to ask Sona, saying that, okay, before you renounced, you were a musician. So how about if you want the instrument to be sound right, right? And so who that if you are how to play a string instrument, right? There's strings, right? What is the perfect tone of the music? Right? So you have to adjust the string, right? Okay. What if it is too loose? You can't play a note. What if it is too tight? The string is too tight and it will snap, right? It will break. So how do you play a perfect tone from these interesting Indian instruments? The string must be the exact tension on its exact tension, that is not loose and it is not too tight. Right? Okay, so string well-tuned, same as our practice. Okay, neither too tight nor too loose. Okay. So actually, we can have another analogy that is much more modern, or much more, not everyone is musicians, right? Or string players. So like me, I'm not a string player. I played flute before, piano, but a piano may be a string instrument, but you're ding, 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 right? You're not doing this. Okay. So maybe we can just have in another analogies, like a pongo jumper. You have to balance, right? You can't be, too moving too fast, or you have to use your core, right? Okay, or riding a bicycle, right? You can't just, leaning. You have to have yourself balanced well and to keep the bicycle moving, right? So I think that maintain a balanced life, or maintaining balance on the way. And I think that these can be, kind of like talk. Maybe it is just similar to what the Buddha taught to us, the middle path. Okay, so what is the middle path really? Okay, we can explain it in two types. Okay, one is practice, the other is theory. Right. So practice, we can say that the middle path is the Noble Eightfold Path, or the middle way. Okay, so sometimes I will say middle path or middle way. They are the same. Okay. So Noble Eightfold Path actually is called the middle way. Okay. Or in theory, or the idea, idea or the Buddhist philosophy, when we said middle path or middle way, maybe it refers to something very important called dependent origination. So this is how it works, and this is how it goes. So let us take a look at it. So I would like to just use some original canonical texts, right, to explain what is the middle way. Right? So this is from Southern Pali Canon. It's called Samyukta Nikaya 56.11. Okay. You can see that this is the Dhammacakkappavattana Sutta. Right? This is called the Turning of the Dharma Wheel Sutra. Okay, so what's in the sutra? The Buddha said, monks, these two extremes. What is two extremes? Okay, ought not to be practiced by one who have gone forth from the household life. Okay, so it is kind of like talking to his disciples, especially the monastics. But of course, right now the Sangha, not just including the monastics, but also what? Also for the lay person. Okay, so we can learn from it. Still, there is an addiction to indulgence of sense pleasures. Okay, so take note on addictions. Okay, the word addiction. Okay, so indulgence of sense pleasures. Maybe you can, kind of like, okay, we still can, try. Not everyone is a monks or nuns, right? Okay, but you can have as your sensual pleasure also as as a lay person. But here is the very, very important words called addiction. Right? And there is an addiction to self-mortification. That means that your negations, physical constraints, right? Asceticism. So that is the things. Okay. So what is the, how does the Buddha describe pain, to these two extremes? He described them as painful, unworthy, and non-profitable. Okay. And so the next stanza goes like this: avoiding both these extremes, the perfect ones has realized the middle path. The perfect ones, of course, the Buddha, right? Okay. So by avoiding taking up these two extremes, right? He said no, right? The Buddha said no already. And so actually the Buddha realized the middle path. And so how does the Buddha describe the middle path? So it gives vision, gives knowledge, leads to calm, to insight, to enlightenment, and to the utmost peace, right? Nirvana, right? So actually, what is the middle path realized by the Tathagata? You know that Tathagata is another name for the Buddha, right? So it is the Noble Eightfold Path and nothing else. Right? So this sutta actually relate the Noble Eightfold Path with the middle path. Okay, so now we know that the middle path equals to the Noble Eightfold Path. And so there is nothing new, right? Okay. So you say, oh, we have been talking about, Noble Eightfold Path a lot, right? So what can we know more about it? Okay, after these, okay, maybe we can, take a closer look at the Noble Eightfold Path, especially something we can see. Okay.
Dinner. Harness. Oh, that's so cool.
Hello. Anyone is talking? Okay, only okay. It is maybe it's just someone forgot to turn off their mic. Okay, so maybe we can talk about the first Noble Eightfold Path. Okay, so what is the first Noble Eightfold Path? Right. Right view, right? Okay, so something right view, right understanding, or right thoughts, right, right speech, right actions, right livelihood. Okay, so everyone, I think, if for those who have learned Buddhism, you have known that, you have heard about it. But for those who are not, maybe a newcomer, maybe you will be thinking about, so if there is right, so how do you define right? Is there a left, or or is it something that is wrong? Okay, so you will be kind of like confused a little bit. Okay. And also maybe right view, the first one, first noble path, eightfold path, maybe the first might be very important. So how do you tell that my view is really right view, really right? Okay, so let us take a look at another sutra or canonical text that we can learn from it. This sutta or this sutra is from Samyutta So this is another form of Nikaya, okay? And so this is a Mahayana version, okay, of the Nikaya. Samyutta 301. And the title of this sutra called The Establishing Right View. Right? So this sutra happens between was kind of like a recording a conversation between Channa and the Buddha. Okay, so the Channa asked the Buddha, what is right view, and how do you tell that your view is really right view? Okay, so here is the Buddha explanation. So of course the Buddha again explained that, okay, so right view is something, it has a very long version and about impermanence, okay, about non-self. Okay, and so for those who would like to know more about it, and you can find parallel texts in Nikaya, so maybe you can just check on both texts. Okay. And he finally conclude as the following. I think this is very important, and I was kind of like, okay, like, wow, this is so precious. The teaching was so precious, and I would like to memorize these lines, okay, in Chinese, of course. Then I actually it take quite a few time for me to memorize it. Okay, so one who rightly sees and knows as it really is. Okay, so you have to see right and know right as it really is. The arising of the world does not hold to the non-existence of the world. The following sentence is called, not one who rightly sees and knows as it really is, the cessation, passing away of the world, does not hold to the existence of the world. And here comes the conclusion of the Buddha. That is called avoiding the two extremes. So the previous two are called the two extremes, and teaching and it is called the teaching of the middle way. Okay, so what is the middle way? Because this exists, that exists, because this arises, that arises. Okay, so this might be very confusing and, you know, kind of like, what is that? Scratch on head. Okay, and so what is that? Okay, so I would like to just, you know, kind of like talking about the blue lines. Okay, if this exists, that exists. If this arises, that arises. Okay. This is a very important, lines for Buddhists. Okay, and it tells about the dependent origination. And there is a following lines after these. It's called, if this cease to exist, that cease to exist. If this cease to arise, that cease to arise. Okay. If I have no s, okay, because, you know, in Chinese traditions or grammar there is no s, you know, for anything, okay, or a past tense or something, so you can kind of like fill it in automatically. Okay, so okay, so what does that mean? Actually, it means something important is called dependent origination. So let us take a look at the dependent origination. I would like to use again the instrument. Okay, so for those who have watched the Celebration of America, you know who he is, right? Okay, Bruce Springsteen. Okay, I'm very, I'm not a fan of pop culture, so I'm very sorry. I don't know him, but I know Bon Jovi. Okay, but so anyway, I don't know why I know Bon Jovi, but I don't know this guy. But I have his picture. It is because he carries the instruments that I would like to show you. Okay. It is guitar. Okay. And he was carrying a guitar, right? Standing in, playing music in front of Lincoln Memorial, right? Okay. And so let us take a look at the player, the artist. So he was playing guitar, and to make it sound and to play a music, okay, it requires a lot of conditions, or like, what if he hurt his fingers right before his performance? Then he's not able to play, right? Maybe he has to do a solo or anything, or someone will play for him, right? He can't just doing the guitar. And if the guitar was broken, like the string snaps right before the performance, then this his performance cannot be perfect, right? Okay. And what if there is like brownout, like blackouts, there's no more electricities, someone cut off the electricities, okay, then he might be shouting, playing, I'm not sure, maybe there are backup batteries or backup electricities for him to play, right? So there are a lot of conditions, or there are a lot of causes that make this performance perfect and touching or enjoyable, okay, to the audience. All right. And if you don't have Wi-Fi, you can't see these. And if if there is no pandemic and there is no such show, right? So you need dependent originations, right? So everyone are, for this performance to happen, there are a lot of things, happening at the back, okay, of this performance. So this is called when it arises, that arises. When it existed, that existed. Okay, and when it ceased to exist, that ceased to exist. When this ceased to exist, that ceased to arise. Sorry, so okay, I'm confused. So you know what I mean. Okay, okay. So let us take another mind exercise. Okay, okay. So let us just for a few seconds, let us close our eyes and let us think about what you had in your last meal. Okay, of course, in the day. Okay, so it is not the last day of your life. Okay, but it is your last meal of the day. Okay, so what you had in your last meal of the day. Okay, so you know that, right? Okay, and where does this come from? Maybe from the fridge, I guess, from the stove, or even from the supermarket. Okay, and maybe you can break it down into ingredients, several ingredients. Okay, so let us think of if it can break it down into several ingredients. Okay, so how all these ingredients were grown or raised or picked, wrapped, and shipped. So think about it. And maybe we can trace even back and how these ingredients, this from, maybe it is from the nature, right? Okay. So how does it being planted? How it was being or raised, right? How it was being cared, and how it was being grown, right? Okay, so now you know that within a meal that you eat, you are connected, and we are all connected. Okay, even the truck driver, right? Maybe we are connected with the truck driver because he was the one who drive the food, like the frozen food or anything, or vegetables or anything, that to the supermarket. And actually he has his effort to deliver the food to us on the table. Okay, so this is called, let me put it, okay, oops. Okay, so here, let me go back. So if we know that we are all connected and everything is not just appeared from nowhere, right? There is something at the back, or some person working hard at the back, right? And actually we can trace it back. Then we know that we are connected. We are deeply connected. And so there is no way for us to have a conclusion of what? Of non-existence of the world. Okay. And after in the secession of the world, we can know that we have to have something in mind, that there is passing away, everything is impermanent, and we will not hold on to the existence, some ideologies or some thoughts that the existence of the world. Okay. Right. So let us take a look at some comment of Venerable Master Xing Yun to Middle Way. So the Venerable Master said that the middle way are the abilities and the capabilities. So if we possess the abilities and we realize the middle way, avoid the two extremes, and we are able to be open and flexible. And we are capable to be inclusive and also magnanimous. Okay, so taking an example of a feast. Okay, if your fist was kind of like constantly always, kind of like, or hand, right? Trying to, hold on like this is abnormal, right? But if you are not able to close it as you want, then it is not abnormal too, right? So actually, this is flexibilities, ability to be flexible and opened as your hand. Okay, so when when knowing the middle path, then you're just like your hand. When you want to grab things, you close your hand. When you want to, let go of something, you open up, right? Okay. And there is Buddha Dharma Pure and Simple, right? Okay. There is second volume, right? Okay, so this is the second volume, and the article is middle way, so, or middle path. So maybe you can, take a look at it. So this is how the Venerable Master Xing Yun described what is the middle way. Okay. So the practice of humanistic Buddhism is balance between a life of possession and emptiness. So actually, this is the middle way. Right? So as humanistic Buddhism, we practice this. Okay, and we can say that it is harmonizing everything and peaceful, free of conflict, because you are flexible. You're able to be more inclusive, and also life will be more interesting and wonderful. Okay, so Saiba said, "Oh, Venerable, time's up." Okay, for Q&A. So if anyone who would like to have questions, go ahead. And this is my, my talk. Okay.
Thank you so much, Venerable. If anyone has a question, maybe you can put your name in the chat so we know the order.
No, your question, everyone's questions are being answered from my talk. I hope so. Okay, can you clarify dualistic thinking? Okay, so when we say duality, right? So duality is usually, there is, their mind or their world is, just like duality, right? Cut into half, right? Bad and good. Maybe evil and good, right? Black and white. Okay, so actually we're, but we know as we grow, we know there is gray area, right? In between these two. And duality is sometimes it is the non-duality, okay, or thoughts is the first steps of the middle path. Okay, but of course, we're not talking about, to just distinguishing or blurring these two off, but it is about distinguishing all the causes and conditions, then try to know the best choice. And we can ask ourselves what causes and conditions that I can, or what efforts that I can put into. Then this is the middle path. And wow, there is a lot. Okay, Venerable, is emptiness like letting go? you don't have to attain emptiness to let go. Okay, so emptiness is a quite complicated ideas. Okay, so, or I would like to say that it is sunyata. Okay? It's called sunyata instead of emptiness, because emptiness is more like, kind of like voidness, nothing, or negative. But for Buddhists, emptiness is something that is positive. So emptiness is something to be. It is some some way, or a way to describe the dependent origination. So if you know dependent origination, then actually you can kind of like let go, right? Okay, sometimes, when you know more about emptiness, you can, kind of like free yourself from the attachment, then that is the time to let go. Okay.
Venerable, there's a related question about emptiness. I don't know if you want to address it now. Another question about emptiness.
Okay.
Regarding the emptiness of life, does it also include detaching yourself from loving the people around you and yourself?
So actually emptiness is another topic. Okay, so actually you can talk about it for a long time. Okay, maybe you can have 10 classes for that. Okay, but but as I said, emptiness is a way of describing dependent origination. Okay, how we can see dependent origination from the impermanence, right? Right. So the impermanence, then you can know that there are, some cease to exist, then some arise, right? Okay, so that is that arise, right? Okay, so impermanence, and then so when we see the impermanence, then we can have a conclusion that there is non-self. Okay, this is very important, non-self, right? Because there is nothing that is fixed, that nothing that is, unchanged. So we call it non-self. And these ideas, overall ideas, sometimes is called emptiness, right? Because this is the nature of the phenomena. Okay, so actually the emptiness of life, like where can you see that phrase or that word regarding the emptiness of life? Does it also include to detach? No, right? Because that means that there is rising and cessation, right? Okay, so that means that there is a rising of the love, your love, okay? And so this is not about kind of like detaching. It is about that you know what's happening around you, because you know that the arising and the cessation of all the causes and conditions, then you know how to manage it. Okay, so it is not about the detaching. Detaching is something that is kind of like is especially, when we say that it's detaching from loved ones, then it might be scary. Okay, so maybe we had to choose a better word for that. Maybe we know that we know what's happening around us and what's happening inside us. Okay, especially what we think and what our thought is. Okay, so it is not about the detaching of the love.
Thank you, Venerable. I can combine a few of the other questions because they're similar. They're all asking about the middle path. So there's a question about what do you do if you've left the middle path? How do you get back? how do you find or stay on the middle path? It feels like it's constantly moving. What do you do when too many things are happening? What is the relationship between the middle path and juggling many things? So I think you can address all of these questions together.
Okay, so let me taking an example of myself. Okay, I was the coordinator of an event that happened in December 6th last year. That if you have joined us for the English first, English part is the Dharma Day celebration, right? We had about 100 people online to talk about. So I was the coordinator, and also I was the coordinator in the Chinese part. Okay, so they're doing their part of taking the quizzes and exams online. Okay, so I was kind of like taking this part, juggling many tasks, okay, having a lot of tasks on hand at the same time. Okay, and for those who have worked with me, I think that what's happening, and it was kind of like, oh, there are a lot of the works, and there are a lot of things to cope with, because this is the first ever things that we have ever done before. So we have a lot of tests. I have gone through a lot of meetings. Okay, and what I can say is that there are a lot of balls. It seems like they are all falling, right? Okay, and things that you have to toss it higher, right? Okay, so just prevent it to falling down around, and you are before it get unmanageable, you have to do it, right? Okay. So of course I have anxiety, right? Oh, what should I do, right? Okay, so I have times to hard to sleep. Okay, I also have that time. Okay, or when I wake up in the middle of night, then my mind started to run and work. Okay, so what should I do, or what did I do? Okay, I prioritize everything. Okay, so it is kind of like sounds cliche, but it is useful. Right? Prioritize everything. Ask for help. Right? Hey, can you do this for me? Sending emails. Okay, and before it is too late, right? Okay, asking people to do this, and I have asked Venerable Miao Zhang to join me, okay, to support the event. Okay, so I have done this, and I know this is very tough, and sometimes there are a lot of questions. You have to pick up a lot of phone calls. Right? You have something that you have to ask, someone who you have to ask, right? Because I have a boss, right? I'm not the person who can decide, right? I have to ask the decisions. Then I have to ask, I have to, passing the work to all the people. Okay? So it took me like 2 months to do it. And after December 6th, there is another one called the awarding ceremony. So you have to do it you have to finish it within a month, a week. Okay, like video editings, asking for, so there are a lot of things to do. Okay, so it's kind of like juggling, but interestingly, I didn't have any emotional disturbing. Like, of course, there is a little anxiety, okay, but not much. Okay. And how do I cope with it? Okay. I always say to myself that I can, I have a lot of helpers. I have a lot of people that is at the back of my, is at the back, right? And who can support it me, who is willing to support it me, right? And they are really dependable, right? So trustworthy friends is very important. Okay, so this is how I can manage my tasks. Okay, and I finished these two events at the same time. Okay, so I hope that maybe you're handling a project or your life not as big as I was, right? But this might be constant. It might be a lifetime, right? And what I can say is that there is a lot of causes, good causes and conditions around you, right? But you have to, extend your hands out first, like email or calls, okay, and a lot of approaches. Okay, you can look for it. Actually, there are a lot, right? And sometimes it is kind of like you can't see because it might be you're too close, and so you can't see it. But we have to believe that there is a lot of good causes and conditions. So one of the tasks we have to do is get that causes and conditions and start to make it move. And this, how to make it move? So you move first. Show your friendships, show your responsibilities, right? Show that you're dependable. Okay? And so that is something that I would like to share with you. Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much, Venerable. Venerable Miaozang, I think this will be taking over.
On behalf of Shifang Temple and everyone, would like to thank Verbal Zhi Huang for spending time to share with us the Dharma on the middle path. I know, especially during this time, it might not be easy for everyone of us to kind of juggle with so many things, so many important things that we need to handle at the same time. But with what Verbal Zhi Huang has shared with us tonight or today, we learn how to prioritize, and then we try to understand consistent condition with different situation that we are handling, so that we can have a balanced practice, a middle way in making sure that we are not stressing ourselves out too much, and we know our limits, and we try our best. So thank you again. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Verbal Zhi Huang, for sharing with us the Dharma on middle way, middle path. And I hope every one of us can continue to stay safe, and of course, have a better management and handling of our everyday life. Thank you again. 阿弥陀佛。